All right.
So, how many pirates did I venture to space?
Enough.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pirates.
Space, the thing we have to cross. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. Horizon. Its ongoing mission, to seek out new life, to swear it was on stun the whole time, and to boldly claim we can fix it.
Welcome back to the Terrible Warriors, to our finale of our third run-through of the Living Campaign on Star Trek Adventures by Modiphius Entertainment. This Living Campaign is printed and delivered for free to a mailing list to anyone who wants to sign up to it from Modiphius. We're playing along. You can play along too, and then let them know how the game goes, and then let us know how the game went in that order, because they're the ones who made it. We're stuck in a fight. This battle is going to end, I think, a little sooner than everyone is ready for. Here on the horizon, in command. Dealing with what's going on.
Oh my god. I am Conal MacBeth, better known in the nerd community as Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terror, playing Captain Gavin Schofield. Fuck.
And currently beaming over from the Mapool over to the pirate vessel that is attached to itself and is ready to self-destruct.
Joshua Barbeau playing First Officer Conal Haddock. I did just vent pirates into space.
Still on a shuttlecraft providing support.
Brent the Closet Geek from the Showhole Podcast, and since Steve Armstrong.
And from our Patreon program, still also in the shuttlecraft, our science officer.
Andy Hughes playing Arjun O'Keefe.
So let's just jump right into it. Commander Haddock, you beam over to the pirate vessel. Klaxons are going off. You don't see any people running around.
They're all in space.
Presumably a lot of them are in space. But everything's steaming and powering up as the ship is about to blow.
How do I disable?
I'm just going to make this a task roll. You need to find the systems that are overloading and shut the engines down and cool them off. Eject the core or something,
you a
right?
question to know where those systems are?
Absolutely. I mean, you just need to eject the warp core. You've already beamed into the engine room. So if you can, it'll be a control roll because you're going through the computer systems. And then
rather
probably
than waste time
engineering.
looking around.
What's your engineering stat like?
My engineering stat? It's my worst stat. I got a 1.
I was going to say, could I do a command engineering or control engineering?
Can he walk me through it over the phone?
Support. Just one dice just as a support
Absolutely.
roll. To help him out.
All right, Captain, tell me which button I need to press to turn this thing off.
You want to find a big red button that says, don't push this button. You want to push that button. And I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2, and with your focus in
warp core theory.
That is an advantage.
Yeah.
So you immediately generate more momentum for the table.
Thank fuck.
And you create the advantage. So you know that big red button that says don't push that big red button? There is a button that says don't push.
I'm pushing.
That is right in the center of the warp core console button. It's got like a little glass cover that you gotta lift up over.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta hit it with 2 hands.
Done.
And but you need to first you gotta find it. So give me 2 dice here to get your success.
Okay. All right. This is what? What is this attributes?
Control and engineering, I thought.
Control and engineering?
Control and engineering.
This is like that scene from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. It's like, just go onto my computer,
can I
find that file, and email it to my phone.
You can buy a dice, yeah? You can spend momentum to purchase a die.
But can I spend momentum to just ask you where it is?
You've already found out where it is.
Okay.
Captain's told you where it is.
Okay, so I bought a die.
It'll cost you 2 to buy a die because you got a dice from the captain for the first one. So
that's fine.
Spend momentum to get from me, and nice.
Okay, so I have only 1 success, but I only needed 1.
You got
correct?
2 successes because you got 1 from the captain. So you get your 2 successes. So on the horizon, Captain, you see like the sensors are like everything's going into the red, and goo, as the warp core from the pirate ship is like patoo, and then pulled into one of the eddies, and then.
Oh fuck! It gets pulled into an eddy. I'm like, oh fuck!
Nah, it just kind of looks cool. But it explodes. It still detonates, but it does no everything kind of shocks. Like the shockwave goes through the battlefield, but nothing's really damaged. Everything just kind of gets rocked around.
Didn't want the warp core to slingshot
The pirate vessel is now disabled.
Knowing my luck.
The Mapool has been saved. The freighter. Engaging with the horizon begins to make a turn, and it's going for a collision course into one of the eddies. And the other 3 fighters that are in the area, they veer off, and they're heading into the eddies.
They're going for the eddies. Not on my watch.
Captain?
Now,
your role. What do you want to do?
They don't have any more of our vessels captured, though.
No.
They're bailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why are they bailing into
We need to
suicide?
interrogate one of them.
He still has a ton of threat, right?
They're bailing for. Well, yeah, but they're bailing for the eddies specifically. If I can disable the freighter that's attempting to flee, I want to try.
Okay.
Because I still have full command of my systems at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I need to spend.
Yeah, you gotta secure power on your.
I've gotta-
you
I've
can
gotta
still fire the phases, but you'll be draining power when you do.
I've got to spend a momentum to stabilize the shit out of my
Or
systems.
just drain the power.
Or just drain the power and just go.
How do we
much,
get power back if we drain it?
It would be like your engineer down. Can actually do a task, which would be like control engineering to stabilize
to
power.
restore power?
We don't have a lot of momentum. I say spend the power.
So I'm gonna. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna spend the power. And how much shields do these freighters typically have?
The shields, the pirate freighter. I mean, you can just see it. The shields are 8, but it's been taking some damage away. So I'm gonna say it's at a 6.
Okay, as you say, that's fucking beefy. That's a little less.
But if you
want to
do a called shot, you can get through. Like you don't have to disable the shields to punch a hole in to hit something.
Focus fire on
So
the
if you
system.
can break through its shield's resistance, you can have them like
Take out its
drop for a
engines.
second and then disable its engines.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to focus fire the engines then.
Okay.
And just go ham on it.
All right.
Right.
I mean, the shields are at 6, but your phaser fires do 7 dice.
7 dice, so we may actually, especially when it can do up to 2 damage per dice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility that we could punch through it. Anyways. Yeah.
Roll 3.
it's
1 here for the assist from the ship as well.
3 successes.
Hey, that was a 1.
And that's an advantage right there.
Yep.
Damn. All right, so. Pow.
6,
Uh,
4, 5, 6, 7.
Boom.
Just
All right,
7
so we're
fighters.
gonna roll this 7 here. 7d6s. Whoosh. Fuck.
1,
All right, so
2,
that's
3.
3 damage,
But
but
2 effects.
2 effects.
So the effects, you can spend the effects here.
And we also have an advantage.
The effects are actually environmental. It's not going to be from you. One of the eddies whips out and disables their shields for just a bit, and your phasers punch through the opportunity. So that 3 damage goes directly to their structural integrity rather than to their shields.
Oh, damn.
They're one of the engines goes out, but they're still powering on like they have like 2
They're kinda-
nacelles,
they're
and the other
listing.
thruster is still moving, and they add power to the engines, and they're just gonna keep going. They're aiming into the eddy. During that time, one of the fighters, if anyone's not gonna interrupt, they go in. They just destroy themselves when they go into one of the other eddies. They
And
go
they
past
get
the shuttle.
ripped
These
shreds.
guys are
They
psycho.
get ripped. They're not like being transported through a wormhole
No,
to
the
somewhere
3
else.
fighters
They're
are
being
ripped to
shreds.
pieces.
They're choosing death over being captured by us.
Something's not right in this.
All right, we need to use the tractor beam systems to try and grab a hold of this
You
one
do have
that's
3 cargo ships with the fighters that have attached to them. You haven't contacted the repair
Presumably
crews that are
still
on
alive
there.
on board.
Yeah, presumably they may still be alive unless those pirates also killed themselves once the fight started going sideways. Additionally, because those are the 3 disabled shuttles that had the fighters attached to them that I shut off.
I mean, if you can tractor the big freighter, you should. If
I'm
you
gonna
can, you
try
should.
it. Like I'm gonna see if we can get a hold because that's a freighter. It's not just fighter pilots. Like those are their command structure is inside of one of those freighters. I want to try to grab a hold of them.
Okay. So go ahead and I'll let you. Their shields as they get closer to the eddies, the shields deactivate. You got a chance to grab them into the tractor beam.
All right, let's try that. Do I just go again?
Yep.
Or, all right,
go ahead. This
cool.
time it'll be tractors are. They're technically weapons, but they're not weapons. So you can see they have a strength.
Tractor
of
beam is a
5.
strength of 5. Yeah. So we have to.
So again, it's it's a command order that you're giving. So
Yeah.
we'll roll here with the ship's assist. That's another 1.
That's another
Wow.
1, and we have 2 successes.
So the ship is captured in the
And-
tractor beam, and you get the same
3.
telltale signs. They're overloading their warp core. The minute you capture them, they're just going.
I have a funny idea.
I now know how to disable their warp core. You've trained me how to do this. You want to
Watch
send
it.
me to the
This
other
guy fucking teleports in. Boop. They're like, how did you? What
Hey,
the fuck?
guys.
Yeah, except that this freighter hasn't lost its crew to the vacuum of space.
It's true.
Same way the other one did.
Like the last one did, you lunatic.
But they have no shields.
It was worth it.
Can we beam crew members off of that ship and throw them in the brig.
I was thinking of doing a target-to-target just to try to beam their warp core off the ship.
That's hard to do.
That's
integrated into the system.
That's pretty insane.
But what he said, grabbing some of their life signs and taking them off and putting them directly into your brig.
Empty out the bridge.
Empty out one of the cargo bays.
Yeah.
Empty out the cargo bays and just beam the crew into one of your big cargo bays.
The life signs on their ship, do our advanced scanners, do they have people on the bridge?
There's 20 people on the ship.
There's just 20 people on the ship.
Can he identify
in total
what's on the bridge?
Okay, do I have enough space in the brig for 20 assholes?
You got enough in a cargo bay.
Okay.
Empty a cargo.
You
throw them all in a cargo bay.
You have an empty cargo bay. You can throw them in a cargo bay 7.
All right.
And just throw shields all around the cargo bay and turn it into a makeshift brig.
Watch them all start killing each other.
Send Steve down to watch over them.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
God.
Let's just pull their crew. Let's pull the crew out.
It's a humane act.
All right, that is a sensors for the ship.
Okay, which is at 10.
Sensors and
engineering?
For transporters
Science?
would be engineering.
Engineering?
So that's 13. I'm going to roll into 13. The ship does not assist you.
Okay.
But go ahead and give me your command or presence or daring.
Daring and command?
Mm-hmm. What are Armstrong and Akir? You're out in orbit of the horizon.
2 successes and I'm going to say 1 advantage.
Okay, great. So you beam the crew over into cargo bay 7. Oh, no. And then the pirate vessel explodes.
I tell Steve to immediately get down there with as many phasers on stun as he can find, because I imagine they will attempt suicide immediately. So just get down there and start putting people down if you need to.
Armstrong and Akira, I'll have let you dock with the Horizon during this time.
Okay.
So you're back on board the ship. Do you want to head to cargo bay 7 with the security detail to disable the the people?
Yeah, let's go shoot some ducks and barrels.
Okay.
You could just vent most of the air out of it.
I mean,
and they'll pass out.
you could knock them out with. You could just
Trek.
knock them out with an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could pump neurocene Cass into the
Can I
cargo
do
bay.
that? Is that a thing we can do?
Of course it is.
Okay, let's
Star
just do that.
Trek. Yeah.
It's a fucking Galaxy class ship, of course. We can fill that thing up with fucking stuffed animals if we want
Just
to.
tranquilize them all.
Yeah.
We have enough
Teleport
neurosync
them
gas
all into a
just
giant
kicking
box
around.
full of
Like, if
fucking
you're worried about them
Sweetheart
being a
lunches.
suicide risk, you can beam them into cargo bay 7, put them all to sleep, and then figure them out one at a time.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. This is fucking silly.
Yep.
Okay, so Armstrong, we'll move this forward a bit. The repair crews report back that the pilots did there was some kind of kill switch.
Oh, they
that
actually
had, and so they're dead. Once the ships were disabled, they killed themselves, and they're repairing the cargo vessels. Without any further orders, they just went back to work.
Yeah,
and,
no, do that.
So the cargo vessels are almost up and running and ready to resume. The Mapool is wrecked. It's cut to
fix
pieces, and you
I don't
can
think
fix
so.
it, but not. It's one of those things where you might have to return to it later, or leave the ship behind. He's just pissed. He's not leaving the ship, but you need to get the cargo off, and he just wants to. He wants those pirates you've captured. He wants to.
I worked
He wants
so
to execute
hard
every
to save
one of
that
them.
ship. And
So. He and the Klingons are moving through the disabled pirate ship, executing everyone they find.
anyone that's left alive.
Yeah.
I put most of them out into
They're the
space,
soldiers
but-
on the battlefield with a bayonet taking out the wounded ones on the field. They're just going around just brutalizing the rest of them. I guess Haddock, you want your first officer back? He's
No.
He's a psychopath. No.
but the Mapool isn't going anywhere. The cargo
Also,
vessels are going to be ready to go, and you've got 20 prisoners.
A lot of prisoners.
And you can see through. It's hard to tell which one's the captain. They don't really wear insignia on them, they just wearing bit actor pirate outfits on a TV show.
I'm gonna see if I can, when talking to Mapool, when he basically says he's gonna stay with his busted ship until someone comes back.
The
to them.
cargo vessels whose engines you disabled aren't going to be up and running, but they can use the shuttlecrafts to transport those materials either to the Horizon or to other vessels and redistribute. Okay. You'll have to leave 3 of them behind with the Mapool, and then the rest you'll be able to move
We'll
the rest
continue
of the
mission
personnel
basically without him.
with 7 of the cargo vessels.
And
instead of
he
10.
says he wants to kill kill the 20 people that I've got in custody, I'm going to tell him that he got one ship, I got one ship, and fair's fair.
Yeah. To the victor of the spoils of war.
Exactly. It's just be like, you got one, I got one. You don't kill the people that I've taken. You shush.
I'll transport your commander over. Out. He just disconnects. And Haddock, they are sending you back to the horizon whether you want to or not.
Of course. I'm going to tell Commander Akul that him and his crew fought valiantly, even those that
at all.
That's right, I saved his life. But he doesn't
You
give a
appear
shit.
back in Transporter Room 3, covered in blood and dirt and
He wanted an honorable
pieces.
death, and you took that away.
That's true, I took away his honorable death.
Can I be waiting in the transporter room when he shows up and just stand there and just...
Did I make you proud, Captain?
I don't know.
Let's go with no.
I don't know how
cargo
to feel
vessels
about you
report
right
in.
now.
The 8 of them are ready to go back to warp. You're a few days away from the array station, and you have. I have some papers here. You have your prisoners that are being sort of kept.
I'm going to keep them in like a chemically induced coma, wake them up one at a time and ask them questions.
Okay, so you want to have who do you want to be helping out with these interrogations?
Steve?
Steve Prince.
Yeah, he's our security
Yeah, you got your
officer.
security officer. You've also got a commander/counselor/war hero.
I am a counselor.
I forgot you're a counselor.
I am a counselor. I have
How
focus
are
in
you?
counseling.
Okay, first...
He's also a betazoid.
I'm a betazoid. I can
my
read
God.
emotions.
How does it feel? Suicidal.
Yeah, how are you in Starfleet at all with this psychiatric record, A? And B, also, how are you a counselor? Who let you in?
No, he chose not to be a counselor, but a lot of his professors said, you could make a really good counselor if you weren't so gung ho with being a
Because you're
commander.
a sociopath.
I'm just a
You were-
natural counselor, but I didn't follow
Hannibal
that.
made a wonderful psychiatrist.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, no, I can read their emotions and tell you if they're lying and stuff.
Oh, Christ. Fine.
And I'm still covered in blood, so I mean,
You should probably have a
you
shower.
full-
I'll have a shower first.
Are you full beta
Okay,
set or
shower.
half?
So the next day,
clean
your
yourself
medical officer Rempel,
man, Rempel.
he's got someone set up in one of the brigs. They're keeping them asleep. They're keeping them. He doesn't want to keep them in comas. He doesn't see that as being fair ethical, but they've kept it
unconscious.
safe. He did do scans and find neural kill switches in them that he's disabled.
Oh, good.
Right, which spending your momentum to do that for you.
I appreciate that.
So they can't
They can't just...
because it was the
suicide
same
us
thing
in
that they
blood.
used on the cargo ships before, and so he knew what to look for because they had the corpses on the cargo ships. So he's gone through and done this, and he's got one person. He's an older. I actually have a name sheet that I printed out. He's an older pirate. I just really don't want to spill coffee at this point in the game. There we go. I'm actually going to roll here a dice, find out who it is. Riga.
Riga.
Riga. That's a
Riga
Great name.
wakes up and is awaiting in an interrogation room with Stephen Prince and Haddock and anyone else who would like to be there in the scene.
You guys want to come and...
yeah. I want to.
I don't know if you
want
want to see this, but definitely if you want to come along, it's your call.
Yeah. Sure thing, Captain.
It could be good for him. Character building.
Come watch how the Federation interrogates people.
Last scene really challenged my Federation as a force for good with this guy over here, the venting everyone into
He's
space.
not the Federation. He's just here.
All right, let's do this.
Somebody had to make the hard choices.
No, they didn't.
Believe me,
We were
the
outnumbered
choices made in this
5-1.
battle are going to have some very serious reputation repercussions that may lead to demotions if people aren't careful.
He is a loose cannon.
What happens on a Klingon ship stays on a Klingon
I'm really looking forward to
really-
the
no.
sequel to this, the Court Martial of Commander Haddock.
Oh no.
No, what happens on a Klingon ship clearly doesn't stay on one because you vented into space.
It was self-defense.
So you're making this argument in the hallway on your way to the
I
interrogation room.
single-handedly saved the Mopul.
And like other crew members are like walking past you, you're like trying not to pay attention as this is going on. You're doing like the hallway walk and talk that's in every episode.
Yeah.
On your way to the interrogation, the doors open, and Armstrong, you're already there. Stephen Prince is there. Rempel is keeping an eye on the bio readings.
Okir.
And Okir, if you want to be there too, sure, it's a party. And you've got Riga there in the chair. And Riga hasn't said a word since he's been woken up.
Cool.
He's pissed that he can't just kill himself, right?
Is he aware of that fact?
Riga is a Nausicaan.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Let's just do that. Nausicaans are kind of like, they look like the Predator.
They really
their mouths open up.
And they're kind of Klingon-y, but even more.
They're Klingon-y, but more
fighty.
insulting.
Yeah.
But more insulting.
Famously, they stabbed Picard through a heart when he was a cadet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look over at our medical officer and be like, really, this one? This was the one you brought up first? This is the... Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, if you'd like to speak to someone else, I guess I could send this one back.
Yeah, just good. Sleeping.
No, this is...
Like, do you want to re-roll the interrogation?
No, that's fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being short. It has been a long day, rife with problems. All right.
But nobody died.
A lot of people died. So
Yes,
many
well,
people died.
None of the people on our ship died.
Yes, no one a part of the Federation died. Only our allies. Only them, Haddock.
Riga just starts laughing.
All right. You're next. You shut up. All right. So obviously, you and your crew has been brought aboard the U.S.S. Horizon.
They're our guests.
You are our honored guests. Welcome. I imagine you guys are pirates. So what's with you guys trying to fly your ship into the giant electromagnetic whirlpools, the hot tub of space? What is up with that?
You'll have to roll for it, or he's just going to move his 4 lips and just kind of spit at you.
Yeah, he doesn't think you have any Gramba.
Oh man, he's gonna find.
Listen, you.
I've got some motherfucking Gramba.
It's like, what are you going to do? Your Federation.
Oh, I'm gonna do what the Federation does best. I'm gonna stand here and talk at you until you die. I'll stand here and talk at you
What
forever.
can I say?
Captain.
I'm a very patient man.
Captain, that's a little much, don't you think?
Clearly, you're not with a clear kill switch on your neck. 2 successes for daring command.
2 successes for daring and
Actually,
command.
no. You know, I was gonna do presence command.
Does anyone here want to assist?
Yes.
Yeah, I got
With my counseling.
Only one person at a time can assist, but you can
I got
help with other
persuasion,
things.
and I can use presence and command, I guess.
You gotta get the ensign. Do you want the ensign
I
or the
would love
commander?
to assist with my ability to sense his
Okay, you
emotions.
two work it out on who's doing the assist roll.
What do you guys?
Because you can also just do other tasks to
Well,
create advantages.
What do the numbers say?
I got 14 for presence and command.
Well, so do I.
Oh, well. then
Yeah,
he's
just
as good as I.
like role play it out. Like
I
who?
got. So yeah, I mean.
Like Haddock. I mean, this guy's kind of your ward under your charge. You want to this is your chance here. A little good practice.
Yes.
Grow up like the old
Come
commander.
on, Commander. Let me
see
in.
how you
Tag me in, sir.
I can always step in if he screws up.
Yeah.
So you're just the bad cop, like in the corner of the room with your arms folded.
Yeah.
Softly licking the
With
edge
like
of
the
his
macleth, rolling
Yeah.
it in your fingers.
Oh yeah, but I'll speak up if the guy's lying about anything.
Yeah.
Because I can tell.
Okay.
And
All
he'll
right.
do it by screaming.
Actually, give
"You
me a completely
lie!"
separate roll here.
Stabbing him.
Insight and find a discipline that you think works with the context
For reading his
emotions. I would imagine that's medical.
So medicine.
Yeah, maybe
insight,
medical
medicine?
or security.
Yeah,
Or
one of the
security.
two.
Okay,
Yep.
sure, security. Insight security. Well, bam. 1 critical success.
Okay, so you will have you get 2 momentum to spend to ask me questions. As the GM, I can tell you,
Cool.
sort of
so I could
breaking
just
the
be
fourth
like,
wall
is
about
he
what's
lying?
going on.
And you could be like, yes.
Meanwhile, the 2 of you, Schofield and Armstrong, are like in world asking the character questions. Make
Okay.
sense?
All right.
So what did you roll there?
Oh,
Armstrong,
is
for your
this
assist?
my support?
Yeah.
Okay, so mother. I just failed.
Yeah, you're like Starfleet always gets prisoners to talk.
Yeah, you tell him, Captain.
Ensign, just let me do the
Captain
speaking, please.
Fucking Schofield just like sideways glance looks at him.
But I have persuasion as a focus.
Yeah, and you rolled a 15.
Womp womp.
You still have untapped potential. So, Schofield here. How many successes did you roll?
2.
2. Okay, great. So you get successes. So what's happening here with the Nausicaan? What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing out here other than raiding people. Like, why did he try to kill himself?
Yeah, that's not very pirate-like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, escape, I can imagine.
It's more zealot-like.
Suicide would indicate that there's a command structure beyond the pirates that exist here, and would also indicate that there's someone who's basically get out there and steal shit, and if you start to fail, then kill yourself so that no one will tell us where our secret pirate base is. Am I far from the mark?
The Nausicaan says nothing, but you look over to Haddock, who's like, I mean,
gives a nod.
I mean, yes.
His emotions tell me you're not very far from the mark.
yeah, you're right on all counts.
Okay.
The success was, the Nausicaan's not going to say anything, but success was not an option, or failure was not an option. That has succeeded or died trying.
Yep.
There was no going back.
Exactly. No, which would mean that their command structure extends well beyond the people that we have in front of us, the 2 freighters and the fighters, which means they have a base of operations somewhere in the Shackleton Expanse. And guess who's going to tell us where it is? It's you, Four Lips. Four Lips, good lord.
And he's like,
do you want me to roll again?
like maybe with the Klingons' form of interrogation he would talk, but this talking torture, I mean,
do we torture people at Starfleet? Does
No.
Starfleet do
No.
that?
no, not in any way.
No, they do not.
Do we have chemicals that we can do, like truth serums? Do we
Nope.
have anything
Nope.
like that?
Nope.
Can we take a minute to develop said truth serum on the spot?
Can we tie him to a chair and put him near an airlock?
That is the thing that
That is actually torture, though.
It is difficult also to threaten a man with death who has a built-in kill switch on the back of his face.
It's been disabled.
I know, but it's like he's already super prepared to die.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now let's
You
think
can
about this for a
spend
second
here a moment. You got 2 momentum here that you could spend to. There is some information that I can be forthcoming with
Yeah.
that you can learn. He's
Something tells me that if they're willing to die for it, they're trying to do more here than just standard piracy.
Oh no, they're trying to protect the location of their base of operations and their commanders. It's succeed or die. Because they're trying to prevent this exact situation, which is get caught, get interrogated.
But what I'm trying to say is a typical pirate here, a space pirate, doesn't care that much. Succeed or die.
loyalty among thieves.
Loyalty among thieves.
Yeah, so
Give him
We're saying
you've got a
that
couple
he
things here.
cares more about the piracy
You might not be able
operation
to
than his
threaten
life.
him, but you might be able to coerce, or not coerce, but you might be able to offer him something better.
Actually, there's a
Immunity from charges, or
Not only that, but if you and your crew are forthcoming with...
we won't hand you over to the Klingons.
not only will we not hand you over to the meat grinder that is our allies, the Klingons, but we could perhaps work out some sort of immunity and reintegrate you into regular society, because I have a hunch that not all of these people are here willingly. Especially if they've got built-in kill switches on them, it is very likely that some of them are here against their will.
So Riga's not going to talk, but you're absolutely right. There are people there in the cargo bay who may be open to, because the Nausicaa's not a slave. He chose this way of life.
No, of course. And Schofield's going to lean into him and be like, and if you don't talk, I'm sure one of the other 19 prisoners might. And
I'll just put you in a room with them and let them talk to you.
And it says I'll just keep bringing you all in here one at a time, and eventually one of you is going to give me the information I need, and whichever one of you does wins the lottery and gets to leave alive. Whereas the rest of you might not be so lucky, maybe we'll turn you over to the Klingons for interrogation for further information. Who knows?
Or to avenge the death of their comrades.
Avenge the death of their comrades.
Yes.
I mean, we could do no less for our
If
allies.
his arms weren't bound to the armchairs, he'd be folding them right now, being like, "I'd like to see you try."
All right, let's bring
right.
someone else in here and then make the.
So we'll go through
right,
a bit of a
Rumpel, put him to
montage,
sleep.
and we just hypo spray him out. Okay. I had an idea for what I was gonna do in the hallway when you were marching him back to the cargo bay, but you decided to hypo him out. So you bring him back and you just asleep, drag him in, and just drop him into the cargo bay, going, "Who's next?" and you let him
they're
know.
all awake.
Yeah,
Because all the
other
kill switches have been
they're
shut off.
Kill
so-
switches. They're just kind of sitting around in bunks set around in the cargo bay.
All right, so I'm just going to say, so the first person who's going to give up what we want to know gets a full pardon and a free life. The rest are going
not
to the Klingons.
Maybe not so lucky.
Yeah.
And just rolling here.
Just kind of give them the same spiel.
Yeah.
Another one. A female Bolian.
Can I use my empath
Blue.
ability to find out who among this group of 20 people might be more
Bolian.
willing
What's
to,
another good like piratey alien race in Star Trek?
Andorians?
Andorian?
That's very
yeah,
rare.
female Andorian. The Andorians are blue with
They
tentacles.
got antennas.
They got little antennas.
With the antennas.
Yeah.
The-
So
yeah.
but one of them's got like her left antenna's chopped off. And it never grew back. Sometimes they grow back, but it looks like this one, like she's got a scar. Where they're just making a pirate, like the eye patch thing.
Yeah.
And an Andorian with a missing antenna has like messed up equilibrium and stuff. But
She seems to have
to be
adjusted.
fine.
She
but
walks like Riker.
it doesn't look fresh at all. So anyway, she just kind of steps out from the crowd and looks around and immediately puts herself between your security detail and the 18 others in the room, and goes, "Yeah, I'll talk."
Is she being honest?
And that's Anka, and Anka's being honest.
Okay.
And back to the room, back in the chair. Here we go. This wasn't a random attack. We knew where you were going to be. We were here to stop you, and our goals are to destabilize the Federation Klingon Task Force.
Shit, they're not pirates. They were
They're zealots.
No, they're not fucking zealots. They were hired mercenaries. They're here to look like pirates, but the reason why they're supposed to kill themselves before
Goddamn
anything else
Romulans.
is they're not here
Exactly.
They're not here to steal our shit. They're here to break up relations between us and the Klingons and stop our colonization of the Shackleton Expanse.
That makes sense.
We don't want you here. We were here before you all showed up. This is our expanse. This is our free state.
Not anymore. Get used
why
to
don't
it.
They're kind of making like how the pirates in the Age of Sail set up their little islands and went, "This is our countries now."
Yeah.
And we're not going to be added to any of your empires. So she's like this,
She's a full-on but is she on the
she's
side?
like this revolutionary.
Is she on the side of that?
Yeah.
Why would she talk to us then?
She wants you all to just leave. Drop us off.
Not gonna happen.
Now, I'm gonna. Okay, you know what?
But if you're going to give us immunity, she's already dead.
Diplomacy.
She's already dead. She already
Yeah.
failed. So she's telling you
She's-
just enough, but she's not throwing anyone under the bus. She's not going to give you any names. You're not going to get any information out of her. But this is not your territory. So give me the immunity and then send me back to Andoria. I'll start over like I did before. You've ruined it for me, but you're not going to ruin it for anyone else.
God, what a bitch. All right. You know,
off
I'm
the
gonna.
other
This is a political situation.
Cut the other antenna. I'm gonna try.
There's
to-
one last. If you want to know, you're saying like this organization. I've heard Romulans. I've heard a few other things. If you want to know who she's working for, it's going to be a difficulty task 3 to break through to
Okay.
get that information. You're gonna have to offer her something that no one else would.
Does she want her antenna back? Because I know doctors. We know doctors that can, do something. Like that.
Just look over to Rempel. Rempel, you ever grow back an antenna?
We have this. Well, you have an engineering officer who's really good with cybernetics.
That is true. That is true. And in fact, in addition to that, what I want to try to do is use diplomacy is always an option. I want to actually see if I can talk her over to our side about how the Federation coming into the Shackleton Expanse and doing away with this free state of space is actually a better thing. Bringing the utopian of the Federation to this area is actually going to be beneficial for these people. And that being free, how free are you though? Because you had a kill switch attached to the back of your neck.
Your insight is really high.
Yeah.
So command and insight and you've got a value there.
Yeah.
I want to. I want
Diffusing the
assist.
tension.
Yeah,
and
diffusing the
spirit-
tension.
So I'll absolutely let you roll 3 dice here.
Okay.
And I want to assist
Okay.
because I have the advisor talent. Whenever I assist another character using the command discipline, the character assisted may re-roll 1d20.
Perfect.
So if you don't like one of your
then
d20s, you
if
can
I don't
re-roll
like
it.
one of them, I can re-roll it.
And I'm assisting,
And
so
you're
I
assisting,
also
so you
roll
roll
a
a
d20?
die of your own.
Perfect.
So that's it. So roll the 4 dice.
Okay.
Let's see how many successes
And
we
we'll see
roll.
how many successes we come up with. But yeah, like he's talking about how like this is actually better and that like she's talking about all this freedom and having their own place, but she has a fucking kill switch attached to the back of her head and she's missing an antenna.
Can't really be that
like,
free.
Like I understand that you're free to make your own decisions. You assume that we're not. We can absolutely make our own decisions as a part of the Federation, but we don't have to deal with all of this.
So you can re-roll one of those d20s, right?
They were all successes.
Except that they were all
Except for-
successes and 2 advantages.
she
Because 2 of them are under 5.
She
so
just
I've
starts
got-
laughing. She admits, like, you come in here with your lofty goals. You say you can protect me, but no one can protect me from the Orion Syndicate. They already know I've died. They've already know I failed. I'm already dead.
Oh, okay. So Schofield pulls up a chair, like up to the thing that she's sitting in, disables the cuffs that are holding her in, leans in close and says, I will protect you. If you don't trust the Federation, trust me. I kept all of those ships out there safe. Not one of us lost a life. If you don't have faith in the group, have faith at least in my command. Join my ship. Come with me.
She just relaxes in her chair. Says, "Can I have a shower?
I'll
And some
allow.
coffee."
He leans back in his chair and laughs a little bit. You're free.
All right, so you can assign her quarters.
Yeah.
She's joining our crew? That's awesome.
Sweet.
Okay, so
That's
she'll
so
tell
fucking
you,
cool.
She'll
Oh my
tell you
God.
what you need to know.
That was really
Sorry, was that cool though?
No, that was
Well
really
done,
cool.
sir.
Was that the notice?
That was really cool.
Conal, give me an insight check with your Betazoid empath.
Oh,
Which
to
is
see if she's not going to
Joshua's
betray us
character, not
now
me.
that we've
Yeah.
let her go.
Conal with a K. Sorry.
Yeah,
Conal
yeah.
with a K, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
commander.
Okay, so I have 1 success. Yeah. I could spend momentum.
She feels resolved.
She feels resolved. Okay. That means that she's not likely to betray us.
Okay.
She feels like she's gotten to some type of resolution. She was
Yeah.
stressed before, and now she's
resolved.
not.
So it's like that's
Whatever
been-
it is, you didn't get enough successes for me to tell you what's going on. I can tell you,
You can spend them.
she
I'm happy to spend some of
she
this.
has come to, like,
got
her
enough
feelings
for
are.
one.
She's resolved her feelings on the matter.
Oh, okay. Not resolved. Yeah. So she's made a decision one way or the other.
She's relaxed about it.
She's relaxed about it.
The tension in the room.
Can I spend momentum to try to read her a bit better? To learn more about what she's
You'd have to
resolved
ask me a
about?
specific question, and I could answer it for you.
What is she resolved about? Is that a specific enough question?
She's no longer afraid of the Orion Syndicate.
Okay, I guess
Okay.
that was the question.
That's good. That's good.
But if she
I like that.
yeah,
Because that means that she believes that we can keep her safe.
either that or she knows she's going to die and it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, she's not scared of them.
Oh.
We literally just came in. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
They,
fair.
they
That's fair.
came at us knowing where we were going to be, disabled our systems, and we still shamed the fuck out of them. So
Here's something else though
We're
that we need
actually-
to think about for in the future when we go back. Somebody sold the information about where we were going to the Orion
to the Orion
Syndicates.
Syndicate, yeah, we got to be okay. Well, that's part of our report that we're gonna give in.
There's people in Starfleet that
So
we can't
you,
trust.
the Horizon continues with the convoy. You've got your 19 prisoners in the cargo bay. Anka has been sent to quarters, and the day passes, and you arrive at Array 3-5, and you get a call from Stephen Prince.
Oh, good.
Anka's body's been discovered in her quarters. But she's left a note detailing the Orion's activities in the sector, locations of ships, supply routes, other ambushes they had. And she believes that you can do something in this system, but she also doesn't believe that you could save her life.
Oh.
She had her coffee.
So she betrayed the Orions, but also killed herself.
Oh, man, I was really hoping to have her on board.
Me too.
That makes me so sad.
That's what I was worried about.
But that's the Orions. No one gets away from the Orion Syndicate.
Not on my watch.
Someone's been watching Star Trek Continues.
Actually, I haven't. Is that
You should
something that
watch
happens?
episode 2 of Star Trek Continues.
Anyway, no one gets away from the Orion Syndicate.
Well, I mean, O'Brien did, but
And but like barely. That was one of those let's just punch O'Brien in the balls for another episode this season. They had Deep Space Nine had a thing where they had at least one episode every season where bad things happened to Chief O'Brien because he was the everyman lovable character, and they always had one episode each season where it's just O'Brien suffers. That's the pitch.
And they were always the worst thing.
They were just the worst. Just
One episode he spent a lifetime in a prison, but then it was all in his head, and it only took a minute. So
by the time they rescued him from prison, he'd been trapped there for 90 years in his brain.
Everyone's so
Oh my god.
And so then he's dealing with all the trauma and the stress of then going back and reintegrating with his daughter and his wife, and he can't because he just spent 90 years as a prisoner of war.
It was horrible.
Fuck.
It's just the worst episode. It's just so dark.
But yeah, episode 2 of Star Trek Continues. Lou Ferrigno plays a green-skinned Orion.
Okay, cool.
You should watch it.
Okay, so yeah, I know it broke your heart. It was you got me chilled, but. That's what she was resolved about. And you arrive at 3-5, and the cargo ships start undocking their crew. The people, I've got people we can meet, but we just don't really have the time to get into the array.
That's okay.
But the array station is, I'm a little concerned because you're delayed and you're late and you're missing a Klingon escort. They were expecting the Mapool and the captain to be there.
Yeah, we gotta go back and pick him up.
And
he's in one piece. We're not abandoning him.
They will take the cargo and the personnel. They'll be able to hold on to them, and they're all going to stay at the array station and await for other reinforcements there.
It's like the completion of the mission.
You did a good job. They got everything. They even though you lost some cargo vessels, they didn't lose any supplies, and they send message back to Narendra Station to send support vessels out to recover the Mapool and the 3 cargo ships.
Oh, good.
And so that's it. You're told to report back to Narendra Station, but you can spend time at the array with the people. You have these prisoners.
Yeah, I got 19 more people.
Got 19 more people. They're obviously a suicide risk. They think the Orion's going to get with them. Starfleet intelligence would like to get their hands on them, and they're more equipped with making sure that they stay safe and that we can get something from them. The information that Anka gave you was very valuable. She gave everything up. You were very convincing. And so in the data pad in her quarters are the locations of bases and patrol routes and names of Orion. Starfleet intelligence says that these are they're like the Interpol top 10. Like these were on the most wanted, and now they've got some of them even have descriptions of what they look like. They only ever had a name or a code name before.
Okay.
So this is going to help and save a lot of lives. So a silver lining to that.
And actually, did any of the information include who leaked our location to the Orions?
Yeah, that would. If she knew that would be really helpful.
It's possible that some of that information just came from the Romulans from when they were working at Narendra. They handed it over to the Orions as one last little spit when their ambassador was exposed. It's also possible that some of the traders that just moved through Narendra Station, Ferengis are there. There's other just traders and unaffiliated. They'll just sell it to the first buyer. So they're going to beef up their security detail and try and keep the supply routes, try and patch up those holes. But 10 cargo vessels, it could have been anyone on those cargo vessels who just leaked it out.
Yeah, true, actually, because all the people that were on those cargo vessels weren't
This is the risk
necessarily
of
Federation.
This task force isn't all Federation. It's split up.
I say we vent everyone into space.
No! These of all the things I tried to teach you, Ensign, that was the one you took from this? No. Bad, Ensign Armstrong, bad.
I thought I would impress people.
No.
Is there anything you'd like to do at the array station, or would you like to return to Narendra for... I'm going to flip over to the reputation tables and give your debrief for this mission.
I'm happy to return.
I'm happy to role-play anything out if there's something that you'd like to say or do to the surviving members of the Orion Pirates, if you'd like to do the recovery mission with Akul yourself, or if we're just heading back to Narendra.
I do want to stop and
15
pick up
minutes.
Akul in the Mapool, but I mean, we don't need to roleplay that out, I don't think.
I was gonna say, like, well, yeah, well, like, we'll say I'd want to come along and go pick up the.
You don't leave your allies behind?
No.
I
We
worked
said
very hard to save that ship.
So
Risked my life.
let's go through here for your debriefing. When you arrive back at Narendra Station, Captain, each of you, you're because of what happened, Starfleet Intelligence wants to have a sit down with you, and you each get like little missions. And like it happens on the TV show where like they're having the conversation, it goes back to the interrogator, and it goes back and it's a different person in the chair each time. So I'm working down here, Schofield, your crew acted in accordance with orders and directives. Yeah, I mean, protecting
Yep.
the cargo, arriving at...
We protected all the cargo ships, and we arrived at the location with
Provided
all the
assistance to the
materials. and everything.
Klingons.
Provided assistance to the Klingons. In addition to that, I think we performed extraordinarily well, considering that we were ambushed.
Challenged any directives?
No,
Nope.
actually,
Yep. You stayed true to the mission protocols this time.
we did.
Good, you
this
stayed
time.
in the
Thanks.
Expanse. You prevented combat.
I could see that guy just leaning over his podium. So you stayed in the Expanse this time, did you, Captain? Yeah, shush.
Prevented combat. I mean, there was no way to prevent this combat.
We saved those the 20 people, now 19.
No personnel under your command were killed. Correct?
No
we
personnel.
We didn't lose any
No
of the repair
personnel were
people.
lost.
Haddock somehow survived again. Resorted to lethal force without cause. Now, this is where things get tricky. Your report states that you witnessed Commander Haddock
No, he didn't witness anything.
venting
In fact, he doesn't
Klingons
know.
and mercenaries into space.
what
You witnessed
caused
that
the venting.
on the Mapool after transporting your commander over. You witnessed bodies being vented into space.
Yes, it would appear as
It could have been
though-
a hull breach.
Well, it wasn't. It would appear as though someone on the ship, while there was a boarding party on board, saw fit to vent a section of the space out to try and limit damage. Because I guess they were being overpowered. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Commander Haddock?
Turning over to you, Commander. What happened over there?
Yeah, well,
What's going on? Report.
yeah. Allow me to explain that a bit.
Allow me to explain that with he just runs out the door.
We were outmanned. The pirates had us outnumbered 6-1. 6-1. Yes, that's about right.
I just can't say that it's 3-1, but sure.
Sorry, what?
Continue, Commander.
6-1. By the time many of the Klingons had dropped, it was 6-1. The captain of the Klingons' ship was down, possibly dead. I didn't know at the
Yes,
time.
Captain Akul, we have a statement already.
Yes, he was down. And I tried to get the Klingons to assist me in evacuating that section of the ship. But they would not. They wanted to die gloriously in battle, as Klingons do.
Oh. Table talk here. Was this with or without cause?
Well, he wasn't acting under my orders directly at the time, but I would argue. Well, I mean, it's a lot of killing.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of killing, and a responsibility to the truth, as well as like I'm Starfleet, for fuck's sake.
I have the value forthright over falsehood,
Okay.
so I'm happy to admit that I did what I did. because
you'll
it
face
was
the consequences of your actions. Established an alliance with an enemy. I'm gonna actually mark that down as a yes, despite the tragic outcome.
Yeah.
You did for a brief moment find an ally in the Orions. Directly contributed to saving lives. This can be multiple influences at my discretion. I mean, not necessarily Haddock, but the rest of you all did a really good.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Actually.
I killed some. A lot of those pirates died because of something I did.
Backed and above and beyond course of duty. Taking unnecessary risks in the course of the mission.
Unnecessary? No. I think we took
I
some
did
risks.
save the entire crew of the Mapool.
And that was the thing, is that... Well,
Except for the ones in space.
Amazingly, after all of this, you are each all getting 2 to your reputation.
Yes!
Oh God.
How do we track reputation?
Yeah,
So you all started at 10. Everyone who was in the original game got... they were up to 11. So that brings you guys, Armstrong and Schofield. Your reputation's now sitting at a 13. This is actually really close. If you get up to a 15, you're up for a promotion, Ensign.
Oh, fantastic.
The higher your reputation, the more influence that you're sort of responsible for, and the higher your like reputation increases like certain things when things go wrong. Like I'll roll, and if you get a 20, it'll hurt the ensign. But if it's anything between a 16 and a 20, it hurts the captain because your influence range is much higher.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and then and Haddock is 12. I know that's kind of slow burning, but because we're playing long form, I kind of wanted to play that reputation part out. The last bit here: did anyone spend any determination points using their values during this? I think
You did.
Yes, I challenged
I
my
did.
teamwork value.
you challenged your value. Anyone else
I
challenge
think
their
I
value?
challenged my drive for exploration when
Yeah?
we were doing the
Sorry, are those
flyby.
You didn't challenge it. You just invoked it.
Oh, okay.
are those two different things?
Yeah, challenging and using values are different.
So I invoked and challenged. I did both.
Yeah, so people who challenge the value immediately mark a milestone. The character who challenged a value or directive during the mission, the character was injured by a lethal attack during the adventure, the character used at least one value or directive positively, and at least one value or negative directly. Negatively. So no one used values, or I never used any of your values against you, and that's my feeling as a GM. No one challenged any directives this time. So the only person who's hitting the milestone is Haddock. So Haddock, you get a normal milestone and an option to do one of the following with the player character.
I've challenged 2 of my values.
Have you crossed them? Oh, you did challenge one
Yeah.
early on. Okay, so both of you got milestones.
Yeah, because I got self-reliant, which was then changed to mostly self-reliant. And then Bo killed my child was challenged on our first game, but was never
rather
replaced
than
with anything.
replace it, you took an upgrade in another stat somewhere. I think you did something to the ship.
We were going to, but
Yeah, that was where that change happened.
That's where we got the advanced sensor suite.
That's where the advanced sensor array came from. Okay, cool.
So Haddock, you can replace that value with a new value. That's something similar based on your new view on things, on how you learned this mission. Or you can choose 2 disciplines and change the levels around. Or you can, one of your focuses you can replace with a new focus. Or you can upgrade a supporting character. Or you can save that milestone and use it for later.
I'm a little unsure what to do with it right now, so I will
Okay,
I will happily bank
hold
it,
for
and
later.
I'll use it
We'll
later.
bank that milestone, but you have that. Just write something down so that we know that you have a banked milestone, because I will forget.
One milestone.
Same as normal milestones. And normally it would be voted
What
for,
are
but you're the only one in it, so you will get the spotlight as well. Same deal. You choose 2 attributes, and you can increase the numbers around and shift them if you want to. Like, if you found like I really wish that stat had been better than the other. You can replace your talent. You can upgrade support characters. You can also upgrade ship systems, or you can choose 2 of the ship disciplines and move them around. So again, like everyone has max total numbers, but this
Right.
is a chance for you to redistribute those numbers around.
Right. So I can redistribute some of these numbers if I so see fit to do so. I can make one of these attributes higher and another one lower. Is that
Or is it swapping the numbers?
Yeah, you would you reduce one of those disciplines by 1 and increase the other by 1, or an
disciplines,
attribute.
not attributes?
And the attribute you can it's same deal. You can increase one by 1 and decrease another by 1. So you're just like changing one of the values.
Are
up and down.
there maximums in this? Like, can I make one of like previously the maximum for my attributes was 10, but can I
Yeah,
put something up
attributes
to
are a maximum of 11 and a minimum of 7, and disciplines are a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 4, or one of them can be at 5.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I want to put. I feel it's appropriate. I want to put my daring up to 11. And I guess I'll bring.
And which one are you going to sacrifice
Turn
down?
that daring up to 11.
Yeah, my daring's gonna be 11. Let's bring, I guess,
You seem out of control.
out of control. Do you think I'm out of control?
As one
What
does.
about reason? Do you think I'm unreasonable?
You did eject 20 people into space.
Okay. Reason is gonna go down to a 9.
You know, I kind of want narratively to drop Haddock's reputation below 10 because of this like massive loss
Nobody
of life.
knows really what happened. On
No
that.
one needs to know for your reputation to take a hit. This isn't like
Yeah, 'cause
a discommendation on your record.
My reputation could go up.
People
as a
just don't
result,
know. Yeah, your reputation is at 9. Everyone else is
Not
at 12. Everyone else is at
No, we're
12. You're
13.
going to be at
We're at-
9. Only because I think it's kind of fun if the rest of the brass and Starfleet is like, we don't really know what to do with him.
too. We don't like him
Wait,
a
did
lot.
we just lose a rep because of this guy?
No, you all
We
do
were in a
fine.
So we were
13.
at 13.
You were, yeah, you're at 13.
So
then.
I am 4.
You
below.
lost the reputation. You didn't get any of the positives from the actions of the horizon because you weren't on the horizon when it happened.
Technicality.
Fair enough.
Keep in mind now, for both Haddock and Schofield, you've both had one milestone received. When you get your second one, it's called an arc milestone. It's where like you conclude a story arc. We can even play out like what this story arc is that it's wrapping up, and you'll be able to select an additional talent or an additional focus or an additional value. So those are where you go beyond the limits, or you can choose a single attribute. And increase it by 1, so your total number does increase, but nothing can go higher than 11. And same deal with discipline, or you can do something to the ship or a support character. Cool. But the arc milestones are actually where your total number does increase.
Okay.
But it only happens when you get 2 spotlight. Like you once you get your 3rd spotlight milestone. So you each have had 1 spotlight milestone. And which is different from regular. Like there's milestones, spotlights, and arcs, and you get milestones whenever you challenge a value or use a value and a directive both negatively and positively in a mission, or take lethal damage, which in this case only Haddock did. And spotlight milestones are voted on by players when more than one person is up for it, and then arc milestones happen when you get a certain number of spotlight milestones. So they're like season-ending level ups.
Gotcha.
Right.
This milestone that I have, I can spend it to either gain a new value or
That's
to
the arc
upgrade
one.
a supporting character.
The one you got, you got 2. You got a regular milestone, you got a spotlight milestone. The regular milestone allows you to move a discipline number up and down by 1, or
You already used the spotlight.
cross
though,
out a
on the-
focus and write in
Okay,
a
I
new
see, I see.
focus, or replace the value that you originally challenged. Spotlights allow you to do all of the same thing, except it's with attributes, not disciplines, and allows you to also change a talent. You cross out a talent and replace it with a new talent.
You mentioned
Arc
something
milestones
about-
allow you to add things. Only arc milestones add.
You mentioned something about upgrading a support character.
Yeah, at any time you can spend your milestone to level up a support character instead of yourself. Or level up the ship instead of yourself.
And that's one of the support characters that's like an NPC on
So for
board.
us, those are the ones we've named. We've written out 3 now.
It's
We've
Rempel,
got Prince, Rempel,
Sprint.
and Churney.
So I couldn't use it to upgrade, say, O'Cool.
Not a cool. A
Okay.
cool's not considered a support character,
Gotcha.
but Andy, your character Akir, will be considered a support character after this mission. Even though you won't
Yep.
be joining us for the next story, your support character is still on board the ship, or at least in the render station, and can be brought into a mission. So I'll be converting your character back into like a support stat, and we'll be able to level him up as normal. So this is not the last we've seen of Akir Arjun
Arjun Akir.
Okir.
Yeah,
I think
Bells.
I think
flipped.
actually I will use it to replace my teamwork value. Is it an appropriate value to say I want to complete a mission without having to kill anybody? Is that a value? Because I feel like
What's the value here? What do you want to write? Say again?
I want to complete a mission without having to kill anybody.
Oh, so the value is no one has to die this day.
No one has to die.
It's not a good day to die.
You're literally just writing that down so you can throw it away later and kill someone. With extraordinary effect.
The thing is here, Conal makes up a really good point. This is where I am standing in the way of that. I'm always yes-anding, but the one you crossed out was teamwork.
Teamwork, yes.
Because you didn't believe in teamwork, and that's why
Well,
you went
in
into
that
this thing on your own.
moment, teamwork was failing me.
And so you learned from that event that no one has to die this day?
No, that's not what I learned. You're right. That makes
You
no sense.
learned that everyone is expendable.
Oh, but I don't like that value.
I know you don't like that value, so you can challenge that one later and actually make people live.
But not everyone was expendable, because I specifically
was
chose to
one.
save the captain. Only the captain is not expendable. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
right.
Everyone else is expendable.
I'm really glad I'm the captain.
I am upset.
Okay, so we're it's kind of anticlimactic. I might edit some of these bits out here.
That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was
We completed the mission.
you completed the mission. You had a real heart-to-heart interrogation.
Yeah.
We don't really have much time to do with the array, so I skipped all of those scenes. There was a bit, if one of the cargo ships had been captured, there was a whole other chase to another planet where they would have moved the cargo ship to, and you could have gotten involved in that. There's also, you might forget, because it was in our first half, the strange reading in the eddy of a portal opening and closing.
Yeah.
Was it connected with the pirates, or was it something deeper in the mystery of the Shackleton
coincidental.
Expanse?
Yeah.
We'll find out in the next adventure of the Living Campaign, The Tug of War. So, for our crew of the Horizon here on Star Trek Adventures, the Living Campaign from Modiphius Entertainment, I have been your game master trying to navigate through this uncharted territory, Justin Ecock, and around my table, my infamous crew. The ones who definitely are going to turn heads next time they walk into that Klingon bar. When Akul gets back on board.
Conal, MacBeth,
Some
better
fresh
known
scars to show.
in the nerd community as Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terrowat as Captain Gavin Schofield.
Joshua Barbeau, who's becoming better known in the Star Trek community as the greatest supervillain on board this ship. Playing Conal Haddock. Yeah, that's right.
We're just grooming you to become the villain. When you can't make it to one of the, you gotta be careful. You gotta make it to all of them now. Because if you don't make it to one, I'm turning you into our mud.
Oh, no.
Right? You're gonna be like our antagonist.
You're gonna be our con.
You're gonna be like one of those Maquis guys we gotta
You're
chase
going to be
down.
Thomas Riker.
Yeah, that's a good deep cut there, Brent. Yeah. You can credit yourself out now.
Yes. Brent the Closet Geek with the deep cuts from the Showhole podcast, playing Ensign Steve Armstrong.
And joining us over Patreon, didn't have a whole lot to do in this episode, but I hope you enjoyed listening to our antics. Go ahead and drop your name. Do the name drop.
I'm Eddie Hughes. You can find me on the internet on Twitter at Light2002. I played Lieutenant Arjun O'Cure, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, well, we'll see you. We'll be definitely hanging out on Discord some more. And this is thank you for joining us. We will be returning with a debrief. I think sans Captain. We're just going to talk for 10 more minutes or so, and that'll be. You can head over to Patreon, and if you're a supporter there, you'll be able to listen to us breaking down the game. I kind of dropped a few hints there on what things were going, but I'd love to hear what my players thought about our first little pirate space battle. A little Aegis fire. That was kind of fun. Anyways, we will be returning with Tug of War sometime in the future. We'll be recording it soon. Follow us on Twitter. We'll find out more. Until next time, be good to each other. With the completion of this arc of Star Trek Adventures, Patreon supporters can head over to our Patreon page right now to listen to this week's debrief episode. And next week on The Terrible Warriors, a whole new campaign as we sit down to play Our Last Best Hope. For a complete listing of our upcoming schedule, visit terriblewarriors.com. For more information on Star Trek Adventures and the Living Campaign, visit Modiphius.com. If you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Not only will you get access to exclusive debrief episodes that only Patreon supporters get to hear, but you may also be mentioned in a game as our NPCs, locations we've gone to, name of the ships we blow up, and of course, you could join us right here at the table as our special guest. Today's Terrible Warriors and your crew of the Horizon: Conal MacBeth, Joshua Barbeau, Brent Morris, Justin Ecock, and Patreon supporter Andy Hughes. Next week, a whole new campaign as we set out to save humanity, because the Terrible Warriors are your last best hope.